Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, we're going to be talking about transit Mercury conjunct one's natal south node. Now, when we have transits that involve Mercury, it can be about how we're about being objective, communication, involving thinking, and also learning, assimilating, and processing information. We have transit Mercury conjunct one's natal south node. This could be about being objective, being more communicative, thinking, learning about matters pertaining to the past. It could be mean if it's in, say, if it's a zodiac sign Cancer, it can be maybe we've had some persons had some very over emotional or sensitive issues regarding criticism and ridicule, maybe inability, maybe there was some issues with protection or not being able to get protection one needed. It's all, and also past lives. If you do believe that, if this is in, say Gemini, it might be something where maybe you felt, you were some strong communicator, not past life, or a jack of all trades and master of none, or somebody that simply dissipated themselves through lack of an integrating purpose, or somebody that was just very mercurial type nature. And also, too, this is about being objective regarding redundant, overdeveloped qualities and attributes. If this is in Virgo, say it could be, maybe some, over, taking a lot of precautions health-wise and doing and being very excessive in doing so. Um, the thing is, I knew somebody, prominent family member, that she didn't have her South Node in Virgo, but she sure acted like she did. I can remember when she was telling her parent, she thought her parents, on when they would enter their own home, that they should spray their shoes with bug spray to make sure they weren't bringing any bugs, and it could be something very serious. Like this is about being objective about your overdeveloped qualities and attributes where you might be expressing energy that's very excessive connected with the sign. Now, and also the traits that are associated with it. And remember, the South Node can be about what we're going away from, what we're leaving behind. So it's about being objective regarding those matters. It could be communicating, articulating those things. If this is in the zodiac sign Taurus, say, it could be something about going away from maybe being overly possessive or greedy or avaricious, being dominated by things of a monetary nature, being overly, looking at things from too much of a simple maybe perspective and not really looking at, things in a more complex way. Because of course, if somebody has the south node in Taurus, their north node is going to be in Scorpio. So it's going away, trying to go away from that south node energy to articulating those matters and even writing down maybe what you feel you need to be getting away from. And also, when you're talking about the south node, it seems like in a lot of instances, the way it manifests is when you have a transit contacting it, it could bring out very negative energy in connection with that south node and that planet that's making the contact to it. When you have the transit Mercury conjoining one south node, it could be something very negative with the speech that could be happening. Say if this is in Gemini, it could be talking over others, interrupting others constantly in conversation. Um, if it's in Capricorn, it might be just overly despondent in thinking and negative very pessimistic, negative communications in general. Um, Virgo, very critical or judgmental. But the thing about it too is that on the positive side, the South Node, even though it's redundant, it could be redundant, overdeveloped energy, it could reflect what we're naturally good or proficient in. So, I mean, if this is in Virgo, it could be about analytical ability, and it can be where we're speaking, we're really, thinking about things that we're really, what we can actually really excel in. And if it's in Libra, for example, it could be just being a mediator, being able to negotiate, compromise, something with arbitration maybe. And also to remember that this can be about people, not just things, but people from the past, I would say, as well. And the thing about it is, you can wind up, maybe it could be something where you might receive a phone call, maybe from somebody you knew in your past. It could be, some email all of a sudden just comes out of the blue and winds up, you get a message from somebody that you knew previously. Um, if this is in Leo, maybe it's a Leo sun, moon, or ascendant person, or somebody that embodies Leo characteristics. Or somebody might be in some Leo type field. It could be somebody that's some kind of performer, entertainer, or actor, or actress, somebody that works in some kind of movie or film production or game design. And it's really about speaking about things you could be naturally proficient in. And say, like in my case, I have the South Node in Virgo in my 5th house in my natal chart. So it could be about, with me, for example, when I have this transit, about manifesting, speaking about my own analytical amusement and enjoyment, extrapolating sports data when I make my football predictions, when I do those videos. Because the 5th house can be associated with sports. Virgo is really about data, extrapolating. Anyway, well, another way this could manifest and pan out, remember that Mercury is also associated with siblings, cousins, neighbors, even people that were prominent in your early education. They might figure more prominently, and maybe these redundant, overdeveloped attributes. Say, like in my case, being in South Node in Virgo, maybe there's hypochondriac proclivities that these people might inadvertently or unwittingly bring out in you. Maybe somebody who comes into your home has a cold, or has a cold or something, is coughing. Then all of a sudden, I gotta put my put the mask on, or start wearing gloves. I mean, it may not manifest that way with me, but with some other people, it can. I mean, all of a sudden I'm spraying, someone could be spraying the room all over with the Lysol disinfectant. This is a thing. Say this is an Aquarius as another example. It could be maybe these siblings, cousins, neighbors, people prominent in your early education might bring out some idiosyncratic or bizarre or non-conforming behavior. Mercury is also connected with short journeys. So this could be where in the South Node is the past. This could be about taking some short journeys to places of yesteryear, of the past. I mean, and if it's in a zodiac sign Cancer, they might be very nostalgic places. As an example, it could be things that were connected with your ancestry or roots or your traditions. And it could also, the way it could also manifest, remember, given that Mercury is associated, with driving, short journeys, you might be driving away from a place that actually had been very detrimental to you. Say if this is an Aries, it could be just a volatile or very violent community. Maybe it's time you just made a decision to actually, extricate yourself from that area and find a more peaceful situation. If it's in Capricorn, it could be something that was very inhibiting, where the community was restricting you somehow in some way, shape, or form. And also, too, remember that when Mercury, when you're talking about contacts with the South Node again, it could be about departures, about leaving, about things that are maybe going away. And when you have transit Mercury conjoining your natal South Node, it could be what I call a mercurial person, might be departing. It could be, again, somebody, could be a cousin or sibling, a neighbor. It could be somebody that was prominent in your early education. This could be something too, where in some cases it could be a car or some vehicle that maybe you decided to perhaps discard or get rid of. It was breaking down or what have you, and maybe it's time you decide, make a decision to get another one, or maybe there was some mode of local transportation that you were utilizing, and now it's time you abandoned it and you're going to go take a different route in terms of getting yourself around locally. Now, Another thing too, I mean, it could be where, and again, the fact that when you're talking about contacts involving the south node, it could manifest in having a detrimental effect on the planet or astrological energy that it contacts. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back. But anyway, like as an example, if this is in Capricorn, it could be like that skeletal or the chassis system of the vehicle. Gemini might be superficial damage. Um, Aquarius, it might be some electrical system with the vehicle, some kind of electronic component. Or, the thing is, too, you look at this as well, and anatomically speaking, Mercury is associated with eyesight, the hands, the arms, lungs, and breathing. And they may be adversely affected during this time. Remember, the good thing about this, though, is that the transit doesn't last very long because Mercury traverses, through the zodiac belt very quickly, and it doesn't take long for it to even complete one zodiac sign when it is direct. Now, when this is direct, this may only last around a few days or so on average. Using 3-degree applying conjunction aspect and 2-degree separating conjunction aspect, but it still could affect somebody negatively in connection with Mercury during that time. Now, again, going back to Mercury being connected anatomically with the eyesight, the hands, the arms, the lungs, breathing, they may be affected adversely during this transit. Say if it's in Gemini, it could be something with maybe double vision. Pisces, it could be very blurry or obscure vision. But at the same time, what's auspicious about this transit, you may be leaving behind negative communications. If this is an Aries, it could be ones that were very contentious and a lot of arguing. Perhaps Taurus might be very stubborn ones when people were not simply giving in and they were just being very intransigent in their way of thinking, and you felt like it's a time where these communications might cease because this person obviously has one perspective on something, you may have another, and it could also be really this transit can also, again, could be connected. Sometimes it can be connected with just negative communication in general at this time. And going back to the zodiac sign Cancer, it can be ones that might be where someone, you may become very sensitive to some kind of ridicule or criticism, or just simply very emotional. Ones at this time, Pisces, can be ones that might be very ambiguous and cryptic, and ones that you couldn't really, you're having a hard time understanding for whatever reason. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.